Chattin with Jackson is brought to you by Jalen Media and HPV Studios. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Chattin with Jackson. I hope you've enjoyed the previous episodes, and if you have, please make sure to go back, comment, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Today I have an unreal guest on as usual, so I'm just going to let him introduce himself.
Okay. My name's Cian Fitzsimons. I'm an actor, artist from Dublin. Struggling actor and artist from Dublin, but yeah, we're here. And thanks for having me on, man.
No problem at all. As you can see, we now have a 3-camera setup, which myself and Connor never thought was possible. So I hope you enjoy the extra angle. But yeah, just diving right into it. The reason I met yourself was through a smaller production, which has been released on Instagram, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we met, and that's when I was told that you were on Kin. So you played Jamie on Kin, wasn't it?
Jamie, yeah.
And how did, so tracking back a little bit before we jump into the good stuff, what age did you realise that kind of like acting was what you kind of wanted to do mainly?
Well, it's a bit of a unorthodox road for me down this path. Like, I got into it really, really young. In primary school, I had a good kind of setup there where our principal was, really into the theatre scene, and I got to work with Don Witchley, who's like a legend in the theatre game in Ireland, at a really young age, and he noticed me and got me into theatre acting, and then I kind of just grew out of love with it as I grew up, but then fell into more production stuff, and started going on auditions and blah blah blah, and kind of the biggest thing then was Kin. So it wasn't really the most orthodox way of getting into acting. I didn't go to college or anything for it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, I'm happy how it all worked out, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you see that with a lot of actors. It's never really kind of like especially the successful actors, it's never really like a straight route.
Yeah.
For them. I feel like anyone who's had the straight route kind of had it, without me sounding bad, a little bit too easy. So it's they kind of feel like they've already got this platform, whereas the other people that really strive for it will find whatever way and whatever method to get into it. But is it right in saying that you went to Bow Street?
No, so I went to, I just had auditions after auditions and had an acting coach who I got really close to, and who I worked with, and I actually found him even after Kin. I didn't even have him before Kin or anything like that. So so I didn't go to any type of college for acting. You know
and how is it you got the audition for Kin?
So basically, I went on a few auditions, and I started looking up casting directors, who hold open auditions for people. Went on a few of them. Went on a few of Louise Kiley's auditions for her.
Yeah, she's like the Irish goat.
Yeah, basically, I owe Louise a lot, and she remembered me and asked me to go back and audition for Jamie, and had like 4 or 5 auditions for those guys during the time, and that's how it basically started off.
So you've been kind of pursuing acting since like a very young age. So
yeah, well, I've been pursuing something creative my whole life. I haven't really been pursuing one thing. I still think I'm like that at the same time. I don't know if it's ADHD or if it's something else, but
feeling,
I'm just going off kind of feeling on what I want to do and how I want to pursue something creative. It's just like at the start, I was in design college. You know what I mean? I didn't really, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I graduated school or anything like that. So it was something that I kind of fell into, but then firmly fell into, and could see myself doing, and was kind of had a clearer vision of what I could do then with that. And but still, I feel like you should never say no to anything creative, especially to just open up different avenues for yourself.
No, I fully agree. And what was the feeling like when you got the? Was it a call or an email or what was it?
I was working in a suit shop at the time, and they said they penciled me in or something, and I was getting given out to for my whole shift for going on my phone, because I wanted to see the email, and the email came through, and I just started jumping up and down in the suit shop, in front of customers and stuff like that, and just ran into the back, and then I actually told my little sister first. I don't know why. I think she was the only one who answered the phone or something like that. And so it was a good feeling, man, and that's the things that you try hold on to and you try strive for as well. You know what I mean? Because it's someone's accepting you into it in a production. That's what every actor wants.
Yeah, I think it's definitely even I've had a few callbacks, which even in callbacks in itself are Oh shit! It's like the build up to the getting that character, someone seeing that character in you is like such a cool feeling.
Yeah.
I remember I was going for one that I think like literally every person that I knew that was in acting was going for, and it was like this part in a film called Cocaine Bear. Recently.
Oh, another one, yeah.
And,
Ice Cube's in that film, isn't he?
Yeah, and everyone was going for the role of Vest, which was just this guy who's like part of this fucking little shit stirrer gang that goes around annoying people.
Yeah.
But it was like a Southern American accent, which was just like, it was just so fun. Like sending these like self-tapes and stuff.
Yeah.
But, so like you've worked with like Charlie Cox. Like,
Yeah.
on your first big bit, like what was that like?
You know, you do learn from everyone, or I try to learn from everyone, and you know, have an experience with everyone. But that guy is definitely one of the, you know, greatest artists I probably will ever work with. You know what I mean? I had loads to learn from him, and he had loads to give. So, and he was nice, and he was great, and had an unbelievable Dublin. He probably had the best Dublin accent out of any actor.
Yeah.
Not even that I've worked with, but just someone that I've seen. You know what I mean? Because it's such a hard accent to get, like, and it's such a hard accent not to sound typically like, you know, weird American Irish. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
And he just done a stellar job with that, and I can't wait to see him in whatever he does, and yeah.
Because I was just saying it to you there before we even started filming, like, I was watching Kin, because I'd only watched Kin after I'd originally met yourself.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was so weird to see you like in the role, because obviously we chatted about it a bit, but it was like I was looking at Charlie Cox, and because the accent was so good, I couldn't remember where I knew him from.
Yeah.
Because obviously he has all these different accents and the different roles he's played, but they've been like specific to each character.
Yeah.
But I was like, where do I know this guy from? Where do I know him from? Because like you said, most American actors or English actors or whatever, when they try to do a Dublin accent, you can hear it. They try too hard.
Yeah.
Even sometimes, like Saoirse Ronan's Irish, but sometimes I feel like she puts on a Dublin accent.
Yeah.
Because you can hear like little bits that's like, that doesn't sound very Dublin. But he got a spot on, and that's why I was like, it took me so long to realise who he was.
Yeah.
But for it being like your first kind of break into the film industry, like, I'd say it was just mad walking on set, seeing all these different.
Yeah, it was
people,
mad.
like.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it was. I don't know. The build up to it is obviously like you're quite nervous, but then when you're on set, it's like everyone has to go to work, and you have to go to work too, and then you just show up and you just kind of do it, and you're kind of in it, and because they're so professional and so good at what they do, it's like having a good dance partner. You just rise to that. You know what I mean? So I hope I did anyway. But yeah, no, it was unbelievable, and it was very well run, and a great production, and especially Claire on that whole show, who played my mother. She's probably one of the greatest artists, actors I've ever worked with, and one of the nicest people I ever know. Yeah, 100%.
But I think it's like, you know, obviously with it being such a, it's quite a tough show to watch, like especially when like, you know, it's gas, because I remember when Kin was kind of just releasing, obviously we had the first Irish TikTok house, and they both used
the same house.
They used the same house,
I heard that, yeah.
So everyone was giving out when it was like, obviously it was first known as the TikTok house. People were like, they wanted this house to be known as the Kin house, because like it was such a fucking unbelievable gaff. Like,
yeah, it was pretty nice.
What was the hours like, the days like? Was it just kind of, did it feel all just a dream like, or?
No, not really. Like, it just depended on what day you were on set and what your kind of schedule was, and you know, you could be from there from 6 a.m. till whatever time at night, but you know, late nights were accommodated with a bit of pizza, like, and behind set, and you know, you're just chatting away to people, and that's where you kind of get to chat to people on set, and you know, you have good conversations with your co-stars and that, like, you know, and you get to really know people, and everyone gets tired, and you kind of have to all chip in together. So yeah, no, they were all really hard working, and that's it was a good thing to like to be involved in that kind of way. It was never really like, you know, no one was really giving out or anything like that.
Yeah,
I mean, they all pulled together.
I think though it's really cool to see like such an amazing show, in my opinion, coming from Ireland, because obviously we have like Fair City and all these like kind of just thrown together kind of pieces that everyone just kind of, you know, accepts at this rate. But then when Kin came out, everyone was a bit shocked at just how well done it was. But like in regards to that, you know, I have a friend over in America called Tyler, and he landed a gig doing a pilot episode for CW for a new show that they were doing, and then it thankfully got picked up, so he's over filming that now.
Great.
But like, obviously there's a lot more opportunities over on the other side of the water, like Do you
Yeah.
think you'd ever go over that side and try, or?
Yeah, like definitely. I love the way that we go off different companies and different things like Netflix and Amazon Prime and all them. It's not just like you go over to Hollywood now to be an actor, and especially now in Ireland like that we have such amazing directors and productions going on at the moment. Like I just went to see the Banshees of Inisharan there last night.
Oh, how was it?
It was an unbelievable show, and obviously with everyone who was in it, it was obviously going to be good, or to an extent, and I did not disappoint at all. And
it was like a purely Irish cast, wasn't it?
Yeah, of
Majority,
course.
like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like it was in Inisharan Island off the coast of west of Ireland in 1923. It was so it was very Irish, and I've been working with some directors over here. Like I've kept myself busy with great creative people in Ireland, and it's kept me going, and it feeds me and feeds my creativity. So and obviously you do think of the future and wanting to go some places, but it's not a I wouldn't.
It's not set in stone.
It's not It's not set in stone. It's like I could get an audition like this. It's just how acting works. Like just get an audition tomorrow. Obviously, go over do CW. I think they're not like. I think they're in Canada or something like that.
Yeah. Vancouver at the minute, I think.
Vancouver, yeah. So like I've had a few auditions for them guys. Sorry. And like if I did get that, you'd bounce over 100%. You know what I mean? You don't take anything for granted. You have to take your opportunities as they come to you at this stage in anyone's acting career. Like when it's only starting off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you said something there that just like switched something in me. Did you ever watch Euphoria?
Yeah.
Do you know Jacob Elordi that plays Nate?
Yeah.
So he was doing an interview. I think it was with Vogue or something. Just one of those kind of like YouTube interviews. And he said, like, although he's obviously very grateful to have, like, his show and be in movies and, all the good stuff, he kind of, like, feels a little bit, I don't know what the word is for it, but, like, he just feels like he's not a real actor in some senses because people will never go to the theatres to see what he's done so far because, obviously, everything's been online media. So he's done films that have been on Netflix, films that have been on Amazon Prime and all this stuff, but he's waiting for that role to see himself in a theatre. So, like, do you think you'd ever feel the same, or
to go to a theatre? Is it like
you feel like your work wasn't properly done if you don't get to see it on like the big screen?
Oh, no, not really. Like, well, I probably don't have the same experience as him because he is such a big actor now. You know what I mean? And he's doing such big things, and he's working with huge Hollywood actors, and here you kind of you do have to just go into the grit of it in a way. So I try to appreciate everything that I'm in and appreciate every opportunity that comes to me. I don't really, everything is on the same. Everything's just an experience for me, and everything is in a learning process. So I try to be grateful for anything that I can do, and for anyone who I can work with. And especially because Ireland is such a tight-knit community with amazing talent. So you're not far from working with anyone really creative and really like-minded. So if I do that, then that's just good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean? And I think, like, especially like you said there, like Ireland is like full of so many creative individuals that people just don't know about. Kind of like a back alley kind of thing. But like even myself and my brother, we did a feature film during the summer, and we premiered it in the Lighthouse, like a full screen, which was like really fucking cool.
Oh, cool.
But we actually got Peter down, to the writer of Kin, and he came down, and he came to watch the screening of it. But like I remember my brother running over to me, and it's like you say, that you have these kind of like core memories. We do like really cool stuff, and like we're all dressed up like proper like black tie event, and Jordan was over and he's like, Peter's here, and like we'd sent him the ticket, but we weren't sure if he was coming or not.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, like he's on the steps, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I didn't expect for it to happen, so I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. So I just walked up and I was like, oh, I'm like the director of the comedy feature, and he's like, oh, nice to meet you, and like we just chatted away. But I think it's like it's really cool to break those walls that you put people to be this like massive figure, but they're like you just chat with them. Like.
Of course. Well, Peter is a fabulous person, 100%.
Unbelievable, right? My God.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. He's so open, and he's really open to talk to people all the time. And I'm no surprise that he came to your night. So yeah, he's a very nice person.
Was he on set a lot, or?
He was on set every time. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think it's like a lot of people get really like I don't know, they get really passionate when stuff isn't done the right way. So I say, like, for Peter handing over his baby, it'd be like, you'd have to be there to kind of...
Well, he handed it over to the right people.
Of course, I mean? Of course.
So...
And, like, in regards to, like, other productions that you're working on at the minute, like, is there...
Yeah, so, well, I've just came off something there, so that should be good. And then I've been doing a few...
joys of the NDAs. You can only say I've done something and another something.
I know. And then, yeah, you try not slip yourself. But I've been keeping busy with some small things. I try writing in my spare time. And, yeah... I've been working with a few directors that I want to work with in the future, and hopefully can kick off something in the new year that I'll be in at the same time also. So I'm sorry, I couldn't tell it. Do you know what I mean? It's just
it's the joys of the industry. I remember my brother. I think it's like it's the joys of it. Sometimes he got one role. That was like going to be like his break, and it was a film that was done. God, what year would it have been? I think it would have been like 2016. Mel Gibson came over with Sean Penn to do this film that they were doing, Professor and the Madman, and my brother got cast as like Sean Penn's younger self. We went down, like they said that me and my mum could go down, so we went down to like watch the film and take place. It was like so cool for me. Cool. And he was like, "Oh, you'll never guess what happened." It was like a year later, I think. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "There's like a massive lawsuit for this film now. Apparently, like the production company wasn't given the right amount of budget for like the end of the film, or Mel Gibson wasn't like living up or whatever it was." The lawsuit went on for like 2 years, and then I came back to the gaff again, and Jordan was like, "You won't believe it." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I watched it. My part was taken out."
Oh no!
It was cut, and I was like, "Oh, it's so typical. Like you can think, that this is it, and then
it is.
Cut, but
it's hard to think that this is gonna be it, but for me, it's like nothing. I'll try not to be ever like this is it, because the journey is the journey, and the destination. It isn't as good as you think. You know what I mean? The process, being in the process of everything is where you'll want to be when you're at the place where you think you should be.
Are you a fan of Stranger Things?
Yeah, I love Stranger Things. Of
course. Such a good, well done show.
Yeah.
But I always forget the names of actors. I'm so bad for it. But the actor that plays Hopper.
Hopper. Yeah.
I was watching an interview with himself, and he was talking about an audition technique that he picks up. As basically he goes into every audition with the mindset of, I've already gotten this job. I'm just going in to do my job. And I think like it's really cool to see. Obviously, every actor has a different technique when approaching auditions. Do you have a specific technique?
Like I think. As I said earlier, like when I'm because I've come from so many creative outlets, I try not to have a specific thing to do. Like I've been on courses on what to do technically in a audition, but I don't. I would like to think that I've already had the part. Sometimes I do that, but then sometimes you just kind of lose yourself in the scene and forget like that's the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I just try to break them down as much as I can and understand the writing and the script as well as I can. You know what I mean? Because you're literally given the information to create something. You know what I mean? It's like kind of been given a secret answer to a test, and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's like you just really need to just do the work, and you need to put in the time to create and understand the writing, and not to create the character, to understand the writing. So that's what I do. I just put in time, work, and the energy, and then I'm confident for going in.
Yeah, because even like I think it's cool when I can bring on people that I've like worked for and not worked for but like worked with and seen them in their craft. Because like one thing that definitely sticks with me in regards to your acting is we were doing a very small short film, very small, but like you gave everything to that character, and I think it was really cool to see. A lot of people were getting tired and they just didn't want to be there anymore. It was a very long day.
Yeah.
But I remember when we had that like very intense scene in the sit room.
Yeah.
When you were saying to people, you're like, I need to film this now. I need to go. Like I can't lose.
Oh yeah.
You're so set in that emotion. You're like, I just didn't want to lose it.
Yeah, true. Sometimes I forget I'm kind of in them states as well. To be honest, like when people say it to me or something like that. But it's hard if you're in a tough enough scene and you do. You're getting something and you're feeling something. I like to just keep going and keep organically keep going and doing it and over again, and kind of try to stay in that state. Yeah, I forgot about that actually.
No, because it was really cool. Because like obviously I've seen my brother as well. Like when he gets into these intense scenes, you don't want people taking you out of it.
Yeah,
because it's just when you have it, you're set. You're like, don't interrupt me right now. Just let me go for it.
Yeah.
But in regards to like obviously you've seen the commotion around Dahmer, that show. That just released.
God.
Evan Peters had to really go
get
deep
into
for that.
something. Yeah.
Do you think you could ever take on that dark of a role?
Oh God.
So it's such an intense thing to do.
It is an intense thing to do. It's a great responsibility to take on something like that because you're telling the story of some guy who done some tragic and awful things. But I think it was told right. I think he done a good job. I think he done an amazing job in the whole.
I could only watch one episode. I had to turn it off.
Really?
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I'm a bit of a weirdo like that.
Oh no, my fiance, she was like, it was like 3:00 in the night, and she was watching these scenes of him kissing the head.
Yeah.
I was like, can you please go sleep?
I know.
Some twisted stuff like.
Maybe I could. Yeah, maybe I could. I'm not too sure. I think I'd have to. Obviously, it wouldn't be Dahmer, so I'd have to just. Obviously, you just read the script and, you read who's on it, and hopefully, if it's a good. Hopefully if it's a good production and cast and you feel safe doing something like that, then of course I think it's if you get something, if you have the opportunity to do something like that, it's your responsibility to take it on, you know what I mean?
Have you ever had that instance where like you've looked at a character in a film or a TV show where you're like, I'd love to give it a go, that specific character?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. I think myself of in things. Just to be intrigued, but and being intrigued to be in the world of things 100%. I love to. People hate it, but I love to do new Batman. I would have loved to been in something like that. I do like.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people didn't like the darker tones to it.
Because I just love darker films and darker plot twists, and I love Robert Pattinson, so I think he's amazing. And I would love to do, Yeah, that's probably.
Cian Fitzsimons is the next Batman.
But I'm not there yet. Anyway, no, maybe I don't know. Maybe his little sidekick or something. I don't know. I'd love him to do something like that.
I think it's like it's really funny when you do an audition, because I remember I had one like big audition that I was even surprised. I did like a loophole because obviously Spotlight can be a spot for bigger auditions.
Oh yeah.
And one of my friends sent me a link and was like, you should just try this. There's no like specific like sign up or like you have to be with a certain agency. It's just an email, so just send yourself there. So I was just cheeky and I just like emailed this like massive casting agency and was like, look, saw the post, like would love to audition, blah blah. It was for it's actually just released on Netflix. It was called The Midnight Club.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
And I like remember I said to my fiance Kate, I was like, don't know if I'll be able to watch it if I don't get the part. And I haven't watched it yet because I seen the guy who like got the part and I was like, don't want to be envious, but I think it's just like one of these things where you're like fuck.
Yeah. I know it's hard not to be. It's hard not to think you're in competition, but I don't know. Like I kind of like watching things and then seeing someone do well in that part, and then I kind of try to learn from what they done in that type of way because. I
could have done this differently.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you can learn from everything, and then there's always a reason why. There's always a reason for everything, you know what I mean? And there's a reason why you'll get something that's, fit for you and great for you, and then someone else that didn't get that part will learn from what you done.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
And like in regards to you saying like you do writing sometimes as well. Like, is there a specific genre you like to write or?
I don't know. Sometimes I scare myself, to be honest. I do like writing some dark things, but
so more like the thriller side, would it?
I love Irish history, and I love where we come from in that type of sense, and I love really ancient Irish history and people who like talking about it, and I love going to museums and searching into those books and looking at all that, and I kind of like to put my own little twists on that, but that's just pastime stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And would you stick to like shorts or features or?
I don't really write. I don't really. If I was writing, I'd write just a story. I wouldn't really write you know, specific dialogue and
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean. But I think I'd actually get a proper writer in to do that stuff, because I know writing itself, scripts and dialogue, and that's the hardest thing. That's really,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I had like
most people can act, very little people can direct, and not everyone can. Very little people can write, that's for sure, and write good.
Yeah, I just did wrote my first feature film this year.
Cool.
Which was like terrifying. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I sat down with this like massive like idea that I'd be able to like fly through this script and it would just come so flowy, and then, you know, I sent it off to a few script editors to be like, I don't know if it's script editor is the right word, but like people to give me feedback on it.
Yeah.
And when I got the feedback back, I was like, oh shit, because I was like, it wasn't good. You know,
Okay,
it wasn't that it was really bad.
Yeah.
But they were like, you know, this character needs more depth and he needs more of an arc, and, you know, this part needs to be a bit darker. And I had one guy say, because it's a film about, I don't know if I can go into mad detail because it was quite hard to explain. But basically, it was about a guard that commits a crime, and he's black. He witnesses a crime, sorry, and he's blackmailed by that other guard to keep his mouth shut.
Very nice.
But it was like the crime that he witnesses, and it's based back in it was illegal to be homosexual in Ireland, so it's based on those times.
Right, yeah, very nice.
So basically he's blackmailed and keeping his mouth shut, but he witnesses this guard like sexually assault a girl.
Oh.
And he's like stuck with this dilemma, like,
right.
What do I do? But basically, when I sent it off to someone, he was like, you know, is it realistic for a guard to sexually assault someone? And I was like, what world are you living in? I was like, I will take every other, you know, bit of feedback off you, but like, I think it's one of these things where you just kind of have to, like, don't get me wrong, I have tweaked a few bits and I am very much happier with the notes that I took on. But, you know, I ended up sending it off and a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of film festivals didn't take it in or whatever. But it ended up getting top 10% in the, I'm forgetting the name of the fucking thing. But it's basically like the Academy that do a film festival.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
For like screenwriting.
Yeah.
And they were like, I think it's really cool to see like the Academy of all people are very encouraging. They're like, although you haven't gotten into the quarterfinals, we want you to know that you were in the top 10%.
Cool.
And it was just like, I think it's like, my whole point of this is not to brag.
Yeah.
It's basically say like, it's all about your story and your script falling into the right hands.
Yeah, and just take every little victory that, you know.
That's the thing going off there. Sorry about that.
No worries. Yeah, just take every little victory as it comes. You know what I mean? And then just don't listen to everybody. You know what I mean? Don't listen to everybody, because no, everyone's not a genius either. You know what I mean? So just believe in you, believe in your script, and definitely take on criticism and definitely take on ideas and stuff like that. But then, you know what I mean? Believe in yourself, and then just believe in what you want to do and believe in your vision, because, you know, that's, you know what I mean? If everyone listened to everyone, then nothing would get done. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And sorry, my AirPods dropped there.
Sorry.
And the thing about not being realistic, it's like, well, then if it's not realistic, it's not realistic. We're acting. This isn't real anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think if you look back to, you know, like early 2000s, you have all the scary movie films. If you had went to like a serious like director and been like, this is what I want to do, it would have been like, no. But obviously that was I always forget the name of the brothers, but they took it upon themselves and was like, well, if nobody else is going to do it because it's too unrealistic, then we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know? And look how fucking popular those things were.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you watched it, I think I was watching the third one there the other day. It was just like we went up to my friend's house in Wexford, and like it's all kind of very secluded, like no Wi-Fi, no nothing.
Right.
So she had a few DVDs stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So we found Scary Movie 3 and we were like, oh, we'll throw it on. And you watch it back and you're like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
ridiculous.
You can't help but watch it though. You're like, I want to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. They were funny films. The 2000s had some crazy ideas.
I still haven't even watched The Matrix yet. I don't think my brain is ready for that. But in regards to like, you know, do you ever see when people are talking about like what's your ideal like smoking circle? What would be like your ideal like film circle if you got to do a film with, you know, a specific director and a cast?
Oh God.
I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but
right now?
At the minute, yeah.
Oh, I really love the Safdie brothers that are coming out in New York. They have 2 films right now, and one of their films is probably one of my favourite films of all time, Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, that was a good film, yeah.
I'd love to for them. Okay, so they'll have them as the directors.
It's like fantasy football, but in film.
obviously, I want to work with Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, he's doing big things at the minute.
Saoirse Ronan. I'd love to have her.
It's a hard one, isn't it? Yeah.
Roger Deakins probably as a cinematographer.
Oh, great choice.
I'm gonna go with all Irish actors. Okay.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
I think you're just inspired after the Banshee.
I am. Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's as far as I could go. Maybe some weird ass film with just us three, and Roger Deakins.
I'd watch it. But you know what? I think it's really cool to, like, you know, when I love watching interviews with actors talking about their job and backstage and all stuff. Not so much. I'm not really mad about, you know, like gossip and paparazzi, all like the stuff that I just really couldn't care, like their relationships and stuff like that. I think I watched an interview with Zac Efron about the world's greatest beer run, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
Where it's literally based on true story of a man bringing beer to his friends that are on the front line in Vietnam, and he was saying he was working with an actor, and I can't think of his name right now, but a very, very big actor. And even Zac Efron, who nearly everybody knows his name, he's obviously got starstruck going on set. He's like, oh my god, I'm working with this guy, this is insane. And after every take he was like, any advice, any tips, any of this. And the guy, he didn't want to give him tips because he's like, you know, you're a self-established actor as well.
Yeah.
Don't want to be giving you tips. He's like, no, I'm asking. And I think he did like 4 or 5 takes of this scene, and the man was like, right, I've one tip for you. And he was like, yeah, what's that? And he's like, stop the hand movement. You're kind of telling the story with your hands. Let yourself tell it. Okay. And he was like, oh, okay. And he said he basically like clasped his hands between his legs and was like, right, I'll go for the take. And it was after they said the take, the director was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one. He was like, you know, I think any actor that will walk on set and be like, oh no, I know everything is never going to get very far. I think you have to let yourself learn from every actor that you work with. Has there been any actor that you've worked with at the moment that you've learned a lot from, you think?
Well, yeah, like, yeah, probably Claire, who I worked with on Cian, who played my mother. She never said anything to me. Nobody ever really gave me.
Oh, it's not necessarily like advice.
Yeah,
like from watching them
but
work,
just
you know?
from being a kind of sponge and watching people. Yeah, 100%. She is definitely the one. And then obviously I've seen the films that she's been in and stuff like that. The previous films she's even written herself, and I just think she's an amazing talent, and I was kind of in awe of her. So, yeah, definitely. And then I have Thomas K. Byrne. He's another a good friend of mine. I absolutely love that guy. We've been on a few drinking sessions together, and that's when people probably give you the best advice. Honestly, yeah. I agree with you there. Yeah. So yeah, he's given me some tips. But then it's just, you need, if you have a good director in between scenes, in between shots, and they chat to you and you have a good relationship with them, and they can kind of mould you into what they want out of that scene, and that's what I can go off.
And do you think you'll be like for the foreseeable future, like sticking to on-screen acting, theatrical acting? Like, is there specifics, or you're just kind of going with whatever?
Yeah,
feels right?
like I'm going whatever feels right. Yeah, definitely. Just leave yourself open, I think. And then just trying to stay creative, you know what I mean? Just keep myself open to things, and trying to just do daily things to kind of improve every day.
And like being in someone who, like, for myself, if I'm ever doing any acting, to me, like, it'd have to be on-screen acting, because I get really bad stage fright.
Oh, okay.
Really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
And like, what age would you have been when you'd done your first kind of like theatre performance?
Like 9.
9, and what would have been your oldest role? Like, sorry, what would have been the last time you would have been kind of doing theatre?
Yeah, not too long after that, like 14.
14. Like, what was that feeling, walking out knowing, like, I have to know my lines? Like,
do you know what? It was kind of like blissful ignorance. I was young and just thought I was hot shit, and that was it, really. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think I'd laugh. I'd probably giggle. My first kind of line, I'd say it with a smile. But like, it was like right now I would suffer with such more anxious thoughts, because you're just older and thinking about so much more. But that's, I always think about that. You know what I mean? It's like that when, I don't know who said it, some painter said it. It's like Picasso or something said he took 50 years for him to paint like a child. because you need that childlike mentality of just doing it. You know what I mean? They don't care about the line. They don't care about the, scribbling outside the lines or anything like that. They just kind of do it because they're so free in it, and that's, I think that's what the mentality I had was. It's just I just kind of went for it and didn't really think of the repercussions of anything. You know what I mean? If I messed up, I just done it again.
I think that's what I said. I had a friend of mine, Adam, on the show a few weeks back, and he would do he'd be a stuntman for Netflix for Vikings Valhalla.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I was like, with stunt coordination, it reminds me a lot of, like a live theatre performance. If one thing kind of goes wrong, you kind of have to work around it to make sure everything else kind of goes right.
Yeah.
So I was saying to him, I was like, I have massive, massive respect for theatre actors. Like, it's like a next level of acting.
Oh yeah, so do I. Like I haven't been in anything. Like trust me. Like I that is something that like I really do respect. And like I've done it at a young age, but I don't do it now. You know what I mean? I just do production. So obviously, as you said, I probably would go into something if it was offered. But God, yeah, like hats off to all them people. And it's in Ireland, in Dublin. It is very, very high talent.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And do you know what? I think at the end of the day, I think people, I don't think people realise like how small of a country we are, but like at the end of the day, we've so much talent just like hidden.
Yeah,
around
the Irish Film Festival was the Irish Theatre Festival was just on there, and I had the privilege of going to some of those shows and seeing the performances were just unbelievable. I tried to learn a lot from them, and did learn a lot from just being there in the audience. You know what I mean? Just allowing yourself to just be in that it was great.
It's just I think like when you become immersed in people's roles, that's how you know like the actor is doing the right job.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking there, like, is there like a specific like genre? I know actors have to be kind of like more broad and open-minded, but when it comes to specific genres of films, is there like a dream one you want to be in, like like an extreme thriller or horror film, really intense drama?
I don't know. I think I think I'd love to be in something that I'd like to be in something that's not too much of one genre, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because like I think we can get stuck up on genres, and that can be kind of molded into the kind of action or just horror or something. It's like, well, I love films that you come out of it and you don't even know kind of what genre. You know what I mean? It's just about the story and just about the characters, and something that my probably dream would be to be making films that aren't too boxed in like that. You know what I mean? That are just kind of left up to complete interpretation or whatever. You know?
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
someone who's become like a big name over the past couple of years, like Jordan Peele.
Yeah,
he had Get Out.
Yeah, like that guy. That guy is doing great. Like I seen Nope, and Nope's. It's like
I didn't know how I feel.
Yeah,
Nope.
exactly.
It was insane.
You know what I mean? Because exactly. That's and he's done something right there with that. You know what I mean? And it's his own spin on Hollywood, and what he's doing is it's his character himself just infused into this film. So yeah, definitely that's the kind of thing.
I think I walked into Nope, and I don't know what expectations I had, but I walked out like I was like, what did I just watch?
But it's not for everyone, and don't.
But at the same time, you're like, it was so beautifully done.
Yeah,
like it was so well done.
Yeah, it was like, really well done.
The storyline, don't get me wrong, was a bit kind of all over the place. But when you see the visuals that they brought out, it's kind of like, you can't get mad.
I know, yeah. I don't, that's what I try not to get mad at anything really these days, except for if it's just tacky or whatever. But like, if I see someone that's really put in effort to something, and I just can't help but get mad at it. I just have to learn from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I talk to a lot of filmmakers in regards to Netflix, and it kind of seems like Netflix kind of produces the same thing over and over and over again. Do you think if Netflix ever released like a section that would have been like independent filmmakers, where people don't need an agent to go forward and they can submit these projects, do you think you'd be interested in watching like independent films, even if they're not like the biggest budget?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Like I'm always into watching stuff that like that's where Ireland is at. We have to support our own and watch things that aren't funded by the biggest companies in the world, because that's what gets the first film the next generation kind of in the spotlight. For sure, yeah, definitely. I would watch that category.
And aside from, you know, obviously yourself being a creative person, you know, obviously acting is a big part of what you like to stem in. Is there anything else in the creative industry that you kind of stem towards at the minute?
Yeah, like, well, I went to college for design. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you were saying that earlier. Yeah,
like, I'm a designer, so by day, and that's something I love. I just from a young age, I was kind of into like graffiti and street art, and that's how I got into kind of like typography and typeface, and I was obsessed with that for a young age. I was always like, you know, staring at advertisements and all that. I was kind of into visual things. So yeah, and then like I graduated in college for design and kind of went into advertising for a while, and that really wasn't my gig. I thought that was a bit weird, and now I'm just kind of doing my own thing with that. So yeah,
I think it's cool when you see like other actors and other people in the film industry like also having what would be known as kind of like a day job. Because I think a lot of people like will put themselves down if they're not doing acting full time.
Yeah,
they can't support themselves acting full time. But never mind Ireland, like anywhere in the world, it's very difficult when you're first kind of breaking into the industry.
Yeah, it is
to do that. But yeah, I think we're close to wrapping up now. I always end the show with a question to every person that comes on. What's the goals, or where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? You can pick 5, you can pick 10.
No, sweet. I was picking an orthodox answer. I have been asked this before, and I, honest to God, cannot see myself anywhere in 5 to 10 years. It's such a weird answer. It's such a weird answer to the question, but I literally am really. I really believe in just my next step. You know what I mean? You know what I have
come to you.
What I have done. What I have to do tomorrow. That's all I think about.
Yeah, I think it's
you
like,
know what I mean?
we could end it with a Kung Fu Panda quote that I just I heard the other day that I love, which is yesterday was history. Yesterday was history. Tomorrow's a mystery, but today is. Oh my God, I'm about to forget the quote.
Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
There you go. That's exactly it. Yeah. Today's a gift. That's why they call it present. The wise owl turtle.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that quote.
Yeah.
I think it's what everyone should go by. Just like let the days go as it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Cian. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, the usual, like, comment, and if you enjoyed the show so far, consider subscribing. We shall see you in the next one.
Peace out.